Yeah, we should be live right now. Hot dying with these damn lights.
Oh, you got a spotlight?
Yeah, we got lots.
I
Hey,
was
yo,
gonna put one, but
what's
I thought
going
about
on,
that.
Bully fam? It's your boy Dre,
Yes,
Dan,
sir.
aka Dan Gaza, and we live with Palacio Bully Camp. You know, what I mean, we already interviewed Palacio before, and I think we just need to bring him back because he's doing a lot of stuff in the community since the last time we talked to him. And as you can see, I'm
Thank you,
not
my
the only
brother.
one that seen Homeboy. You know, already know Homeboy is a master promoter, promote like crazy. But anyway,
Thank you.
man, yo Palacio, what's going on, brother? Thank you
Thank
for
you, my brother. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate the kind words, and I'm glad you got me on here.
most definitely, man. So yo, we talked to you back last year on August. And I
Yes,
mean, as
sir.
I say, there's a lot that's been going on in the community. You're a big part of it. And what's going on in the camp, man? What's going on in the camp? What's new? No, a lot of new going on, but what's new?
Yeah, now we're excited, man. We're been staying focused. The plan was let's keep it going. Let's get work done. Let's get them generations growing. So we're making awesome progress. Right now we're like on fifth generation. The next one's popping out will be sixth generations, depending on what matchups. But everything's looking phenomenal, getting better, more well rounded. So everything's looking amazing, man. We just starting to do some out crosses too. So we got some line breeding, some out crosses. So it's going to be a real nice, a beautiful year of what we're going to display this year.
Okay. So you said you mentioned outcrosses. What's the bloods you're crossing with right now?
Yeah, so we've tried a few times with, for example, some dogs like Killshot. We tried with Giormani one time too, which is a Brimson, and we wouldn't catch. But finally, we right now we already caught one R2 matchup. We did another matchup with Homicide. It's not really an outcross, but it's a line breeding, but it's a dog from outside the camp. So R2 so far, and then now we're looking to add some more studs from the outside. Just slowly picking and doing the right research, looking for the right dogs, which is one of the hardest parts to do, is picking the right stud.
All right. You already have an established bloodline, right?
Yeah.
When do you decide that you want to do the outcross, and how do you come across these dogs that you actually say like, all right, I need to go this direction because of what you're trying to achieve. So, what is it that your blood is getting tighter right now, and is just time for you to go off your yard and get these dogs in because you're trying to go a different direction, or you're just trying to open up back your blood so you could go back on your yard at a later date?
Yeah, so a few things that crossed my mind. You're right. It's getting a little tight, meaning that I feel like it's time to just go outside the camp and add some genetics from a different bloodline. We've been focusing on line breeding for so much that we want to have not necessarily is it tight right now, but we want to have an option already so we're ready to go when it is tight. Um, the thought process to pick the stud is I want to breed to an outcross stud that is line bred. I don't want to go to an outcross stud that has a scattered pedigree. I don't want to go to an outcross stud that has a lot of fame but doesn't mean anything like to me. So with that being said, what I'm looking for right now to do an outcross is basically for sure. Obviously, it has to be a dog that doesn't have my pedigree, so it can't have Jumper in there. They can't have Magoo in there. So I gotta try to stay away from what's the same as mine. For those that don't know what an outcross is,
Hold on,
sorry,
before you go any
yeah,
further on that,
yeah,
a lot of people don't understand scatter breeding. You
yes,
mentioned that when you're explaining just now.
yeah,
Explain scatter breeding so people could
yeah.
get on.
So
You know what I mean?
a scattered pedigree, in my opinion, and what I think for sure what it is a bloodline when you look at it that is just a bunch of random dogs that don't have nothing to do with each other. Where mom and dad on the top side have nothing to do with each other, different bloodlines, and then the bottom side also the mom and dad are different bloodlines. So what you have is what I call a mutt. It's a dog that's just mixed together. with different stuff, and you don't know what it's going to give you. When you're focusing on line breeding, you're trying to intensify the traits that you like. So if you're putting four different type of dogs in there, you're going to have a mixture of traits. That's what a scattered pedigree is. When you have a line bred pedigree, you're looking at ancestors, grandpas, grandparents, uncles, all that have similarities. For example, in my bloodline, you'll see Magoo repeated, you'll see Chumper repeated, you'll see Lycan, you'll see different dogs like Muscatone's Prince, you'll see Casablanca. So if you want a line breed with my bloodline, those are the studs you would look for. But in a scatter pedigree, is to my opinion, is if let's say if we're talking about a stud, it's probably a stud that's not going to look good, and it's probably a stud that's not going to give you something consistent because what it's carrying in the DNA is a mixture of too many things together.
Okay, understand. All right. So as you're saying, you needed to do that outcross. Uh,
Yeah.
what are you trying to bring into your camp? If you're actually trying, are you just trying to open up your blood? But what? Because right now, are you trying to bring something in?
As far as a feature, I'm
Hmm.
not too interested in looking for one specific feature. I never do that. I never focus on just one. What I'm looking for is for a bloodline that has a consistency in something. And for example, R2, R2 is very known. He has consistency in his reputation as being known. The second thing that I like about R2, I like the muscle definition that he passes on to other dogs, and his features match a lot of the features from my dogs. So what I'm trying to do when I match two dogs together is not so much what he's gonna give me, but is what do they match each other. So because some people match up dogs and they'll be like, "Well, I want to get some mass, so I'm gonna go to this dog to get some mass," but that's not the only thing he's bringing over. So I don't focus on just one feature. I focus more like on a full package, first pedigree. Then I focus on what the dogs look like together. They got to look similar to each other, so that I could get a consistency in the overall like structural, the features and everything, muscle definition and rears, in head sizes or head shapes. So I look at it more like as together versus what I'm trying to bring in as a one feature, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. So yeah, some litters on the ground. Could you explain? You did your first litter, not first.
Yeah,
You did a litter in November. That was
correct. Yeah.
November. That's what's the name again?
So we had a little bit a while ago. We did brothers, Ocean Blue Suns,
Ocean. Yeah.
Tyson and Apex, and we
Hmm.
dropped two litters at the same time with mother and daughter. So we had Temper, which is a Muzzletone's Prince granddaughter. We bred her to Apex, and then we did
Hmm.
Apex's brother Tyson to Temper's daughter, which is Tsunami, and Tsunami is the Ocean's Blue daughter. So that was a two times Ocean's Blue, and then the other one was a one times Ocean's Blue. So it's after that one, we had also what we have right now, which we did Sicaria. Sicaria comes from Cajun Bulls out in New Orleans. He's one of the guys who worked real close with Bashard in the Razor's Edge, and sorry, the Razor Elite group that they had. They had like a little group together, and I was able to grab a nice piece of that genetics from Michael Gablu, which Daniel Gablu. He's the one that started off what I started with. So we were able to get that bloodline, which had two Magoo sons, and we got Sicario. We crossed it over to the combination that we have. She's a half brother, a half sister. So we threw Zelda to her half brother, and it gave us an amazing outcome. We also have Homicide. Everybody knows Homicide. He's one of the best Lycan sons, Chumper grandsons. We
Hmm.
crossed them over to an Ocean's Blue daughter, one of our best ones, Blue Ivy. And then we have another Apex litter, which is Apex to Russian Roulette. Russian Roulette is off of Level, one of our other productions. So we have our hands real busy, and we have some, blessed to have some beautiful productions on the ground.
Most definitely. So, uh, as I'm saying, Palacio been putting in the work. He always putting in the work. Okay, so we have what, two litters on the ground right now?
Yeah, two fresh litters, one fresh litter, sorry, and two that are already reaching the 8 weeks. So they'll be going
Okay.
to their forever homes, and then we got the fresh one off of Apex and Russian Roulette.
Okay. So, and you said everything is like gone already, or something available for somebody if they're in this live and need
Um,
something they
we
need to type in.
we have right now two homicide daughters available off of Blue Ivy, which is one of Ocean's Blue's best daughters, and then we got one girl available off of Sicaria, which to me she is a beautiful, beautiful showstopper. I know she'll do amazing in the ring. If nobody grabs her, you could check follow me up in 1 year, and you'll see she'll be doing amazing. She's a
And the
real, real
price will
beautiful
be
girl.
different. It will be a
Yeah,
different
most
price.
definitely. Well, by that time I'm gonna keep her. So if nobody gets her, I'm just gonna keep her.
All right,
I think
cool,
that
cool,
it's
cool.
it's a real
So,
beautiful girl.
you have anything else like in the pipeline that you're willing to share or not about the next breeding?
Yeah, yeah. So we have in about a few days we have R2 and Storm arriving. It's we have a co-ownership with JT's out in California, and we got Storm dropping that one, and then that's Storm, and then we just bred her mom yesterday to R2 as well too. So we're trying to do two generations at the same time off of R2.
Okay, okay. All right, a lot in the pipeline, a lot in the pipeline. So, if somebody coming to you for a dog right now, right? We're gonna get into the buying, getting a dog from Palacio. How do we go about contacting Palacio about a dog and trying to get something in the home? You know what I mean? I'll go about that.
Um, the most active place we're on all the time is Instagram. We're also on Facebook. My wife sometimes on TikTok. But Instagram would just be the easiest way. Usually, just a private message.
Hmm.
Hey, how you doing? You can tell me your location, where you're located, what you're looking for, if it's a female or male. And then I can show you a display of what we have. I'll show you parents, mom, dad, pedigrees. I'll show you, since we produce most of the dogs on our pedigree, on some of them, obviously on other ones we have chumper and stuff like that, and they're always there. But in the first three generations, most of our dogs were produced by us, so I'm able to show you a lot of videos and pictures of the dogs up front, which is a big advantage that you don't have when a lot of the dogs are like older and there's stuff like that in different pedigrees. Then once we, get you exactly to what you want, I try my best always to give you the most information I can. Um, 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 some people come already with research on the breed. Some people don't. Some people don't like to speak about it. Some people do. Some people like to just, go straight to the point, reserve their dog, and keep it moving. So we try to just do our best to give them the best customer service possible. And then once you reserve your dog, it's a smooth process. We communicate a lot. We do a lot of FaceTimes. If you want to see multiple videos of the dog you chose, if it's a side stack or rear stack, if it's a front stack, if you want to see whatever it is, we're super transparent, and we like to show you that live, look of the dogs throughout the whole process.
Most definitely. Okay. Quick question.
Yeah,
You said you doing the RG to a litter, right?
yeah,
That is JT next level.
yeah. No, 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 no. He has a nice litter. He has a good arch litter on the ground. No, it's JT's. What is it? JT's West Coast.
Let's go. Okay, okay. Cause I have JT next
No,
level. That's what's asking. Have him
wait.
next
What's
week.
what's Javier's page? Okay.
Yeah, I have
Yeah, my
JT
West
next
Coast.
level. I thought we was talking about the same two
No,
person.
they have. I think the name is similar. Yeah, the name is similar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Question: picking a name for your camp. How do you go about that?
Shoo. So when I started, I wanted some cool name, and my mentor was the one that said, "Bro, just keep it simple. Just use your last name."
Use the last name.
So I was like, okay, and we just tried that out. Um, I say it, make it as simple as possible, as cool as professional as possible. Don't try to make it too loud. Don't try to make it too, because you're catering to different crowds. So I think the more simple, the more professional it is, the more you have a chance to attract different types of people
Yeah,
to your
yeah,
dogs.
yeah. You said that though. A lot of people like always ask me about my name for my camp, right? And why I said Gaza, people think I'm talking about the Middle East, which is far from that. Gaza is a music group in Jamaica. I don't know if you ever heard about Vibes Cartel.
No,
That
no, no, no.
name- Vibes Cartel is like they call him a Jamaican Eminem.
Gotcha.
He's like real big, man. Like, but that's the name of his music group, and that's all I listen to. You know what I mean? So that's how the work ethic behind it, like it was just extreme. Like, you know what I mean? That work ethic was just extreme. Dude putting out like 10 songs a week.
No,
You know what
I
I
like the
mean?
name. It's
Wrote for like
catchy, super
Beyonce, wrote
catchy.
for Jay-Z, all that shit. Like he just on top. But the thing about it, I always just like the whole group. So everything like when I go to Jamaica, even here in the US, some people who know me, they call me Gaza. You know what I mean? 'Cause they just know that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
group. That's who I
You need
represent, and that's how the
you
name
need
came about.
a that should be one of your next studs name.
Yeah, yeah. All right. If on my in my camp, honestly, my dogs, Black Rhino was a Vibes Cartel protege.
Gotcha.
That's the name of my dog, Black Rhino,
Okay.
my stud.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So on and on. That's how. It's just kind of funny how I was doing it, but that's
Like
how
a
that
theme.
came
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Like a theme. No, I like it, bro. I like
Yeah.
the colors, the design of the bag is fire, and the
Yeah.
name is catchy, super catchy.
Yeah. The name I was just trying to keep it the Jamaican colors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, it's fire.
The gold, black and green. You know what I mean? So
Who
that's the flag. That's the color of the flag of Jamaica.
who did the design for you? Came out clean.
Uh, this guy is in the Philippines. Sam Designs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Filipino dude,
Nice.
man. Like I just tell him, hey, this is colors I want. Let's put it together, and that dude
Yeah.
just, I just tell him what I want, and he just, like
Boom. Right away.
creativity is on him, and he just do what he do.
Yeah,
And I
came out
just
clean.
always, they ain't got to change nothing. They just make shit simple for me. Like, dude is
You
a
need to
beast
throw
when it
that
comes to design and stuff.
on some t-shirts.
Yeah, I gotta highlight you. But anyway, yeah. So let's go on, keep on going on the Palacio story, man.
Yes, sir.
So if you hold on, you hear me clear?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I for some reason my mic something going on. But anyway, we already know Palacio when it comes to like in the social media space. Palacio is a master when it comes to promoting. Like,
Brother,
what's the
appreciate that.
ethics behind that?
Like I tell most of my co-owners, when I wake up in the morning, I'm super competitive. So what I put in my head is like if I'm competing with everybody. So when I get there, I'm telling myself, it's a race. It's a race to see who could stand out the most, who got the most ammunition, who did the most work that week on taking pictures, who was the least, to do pictures. So since I'm like a super fanatic of this and I eat, sleep this, like I bleed this, like this, I do this
Hmm.
all day. My work ethic is bananas. Like I barely sleep. I wake up at 3 a.m. to promote so that the people on the other side of the world could see me, and I promote as much as possible. So my thought process is kind of like if you're kind of going to war and you have like ammunition, and so I start throwing my females out there, start throwing my males out there. Uh, Definitely, the approach is also to make sense of what you're putting out there.
Stick a
So I
pin,
try to, yeah,
stick a pin right there.
yeah,
A lot of people promote studs but does not promote female. You said you put your female and your males out there. Like,
100%. Yeah.
what's the idea?
Yeah, so I started my bloodline based off a girl. That's where the name Zelda came from. Zelda was my first female. So
Mm.
since everybody told me, my mentor, like most genetics come from a girl, I said, so why is everybody focusing on the studs? So what I did was I started focusing on the females on the pedigree and the males secondary. And throughout all the pedigrees, you will notice that all of the girls are very dominant. They're very female type. So I promote my females as equal as my males, females and males, because I feel like my females could be stacked next to males. They're all shredded muscles and very well put together. So when I go out there, I know that people want to also purchase dogs not only based off a male, but they want the mom to be as famous or as known. So I try to promote both of them as equally on the platforms.
Okay, okay. Okay. Well, that's smart. That's smart. That's smart. That's real smart. All right. So, question. 'Cause you still got to separate the females from the male, like,
Yeah.
right? So, you don't promote together. You promote them separate, like.
Well, since luckily, since what I did was when I kept since everybody was basically branched off of Zelda, when I promote everybody together, they all make sense together because they're all grandparents, uncles, cousins, like that. Like they're all connected to each other. So if I promote, for example, Little, which is a homicide daughter, that's Ocean's Blue's mom. So I could promote them together. I could promote both of them and at the same time. If I promote Catalea and Xena, they're also little sisters, and they're also aunts to Ocean's Blue. So
Mm,
for me, at least, it makes sense when I promote everybody because they're all together. They all made it happen together, and they all come off of Zelda. So everybody
okay.
will have Zelda included in the bloodline.
Question. When you start, you mentioned bloodline, right? When you started, was the idea to create your own bloodline, or it was just breeding dogs and the bloodline just came together at the same time?
So when I first got so I was given Zelda. So Zelda was a gift from my mentor. He purchased Blue Ivy and he purchased a stud credit off of Rogaroo, which is a Magusan, and he gave me that female. So when I saw him do all these special moves and creating these special dogs that's costing him so much money, I then told him, hey, I want to try this out. So it was just the first breeding. But as I'm raising Zelda, our first show that we went to with her, which was a BBC art show, it was thrown in Fort Lauderdale by help me out with the names. The show in Fort Lauderdale, BBCR. I forgot his name right now. But basically, she won the whole show. People were coming up to me like, "Man, she's special." So then started, learning a little bit more, and that's when I started to think about like, man, it'll be cool to start a bloodline off of this girl right here.
You said people start coming in their ears and like, hey, she beautiful,
Yeah.
XYZ. How would that feel at your first show? People coming out and start telling you that. Like, how do you
Um,
handle the? 'Cause no, hey, believe it or not, Palacio was getting some fame right there.
I was confused at first because I didn't know what they were talking about when they're like, bro, she's the one. And because I was new to dogs, I didn't know really much about them. Prior to that, I had like Maltese and shit, and like a Labrador. I never had an American Bully. So once they offered me at a show, I think it was like 20 grand for Zelda. That's when I was like, whoa, and the feeling was amazing. It was like, but my mentor was like, don't get the money. We're gonna do really good with this girl because it was a co-own.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hold
it
on,
felt amazing.
stick a pin.
Yeah.
20 stack is 20 stacks. How long ago was that?
2016, I believe.
Yeah, 20 stacks is 20 stacks though.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
how
Yeah.
how do you process that in your mind? Hey, I just got
Um,
offered 20 stacks, and
I
you
looked at
just
my
work
wife a few
like.
times. I looked at my wife a few times because at the time I was working at the hospital, so I wasn't making a lot of money, and that was a lot. I was like, Jesus Christ. So we were kind of nervous to say no, but my mentor, like, he really says, "They trust me. You're gonna do something special with this girl," and I just took his word for it. But it was hard. It was really hard to say like no.
So, would you say mentor is very, very important in this bully community?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I only had one mentor, and luckily, he was well off financially, and he was able to like look at things differently, not from just like money hungry. He was doing it more from I'm trying to create a bloodline, and I need these
Mhm.
pieces, and this is the sacrifices we're gonna do, and that's where I started off from. I didn't start off from like I want to do this as a business. I want to make a bunch of money. It was
Uh,
more like from that point of view.
so you wasn't looking at it like his sacrifice is his sacrifice. You there?
But yeah, I'm here. My bad.
Uh, yeah, you wasn't looking at it as his sacrifice is his sacrifice. You're looking at his sacrifice going to teach you something how to make a good move in this bully community, basically.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I saw him do like a lot of financial moves and a lot of purchases that um taught me like basically sometimes you don't need so many dogs to make a big difference. What's a lot to handle, what's too much to handle. Like he had a lot on his hands. He had a big camp, and he did very well. He was doing very well, but sometimes it's too much. You got to know when to put the limit on how many
Yeah,
dogs you have and stuff like that.
yeah. So, question. Go back to this question. So have you ever go against your mentor, like go against him on a like something that you really wanted to do, but he was like, "Yo,
Most
hey, I don't
definitely.
think that will work," but people getting in your head, and then you go
Yeah,
do it anyway, and then regret it.
definitely. Yeah. So we were supposed to breed Zelda to Muscatone's little Magoo, and because of distance, I was able to say, "Hey, I think we should go to Sampro." Sampro was 50% Dax,
All, all,
50%.
all it real quick. Hey,
Yeah,
let me advise to the chat. Hey, if you want to interact with the chat, please go to Facebook, One Done Gaza Bullies, or YouTube, One Done Gaza Bully. You could also go to Andre Johnson on Facebook as well. The live is there as well if you wanna interact in the and get your question asked. Because end of the day, I do not want to get a DM and people DM me telling me I'm ignoring them. On Instagram, you cannot interact with the chat. I'm not trying to go back and forth to the screens. I just want to stay on one screen because Instagram does not interact with the live chat on the streaming service that I'm using. So please, if you want to interact, please go to YouTube, Facebook, Andre Johnson, or you could go to Facebook One Dan Gaza Bully if you want to interact in the chat. So please do that if you want to interact. Thank you. Go ahead, Palacio.
yes, sir. Yeah. So basically, we put the bloodlines together. My mentor, luckily, he had little Magoo in his hands. He had Musclestone's Prince, and then he had a dog by the name of Sampro, which was, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Miyagi had a son named Kratos, and Kratos had two very famous sons, and Sampro was one of them. He was super huge in the game years ago, so we were able to get him cross into Zelda. It produced Gold Digger. At that time, he didn't want me to keep no more dogs, and I wanted to push forward in this journey that we wanted to take. And luckily, I kept Gold Digger, and Gold Digger gave me Tragic, and Tragic now gave me my best stud that I've ever had, which is Ocean's Blue.
Awesome.
So if I would have listened to him and not kept dogs, and I would have just stopped doing what I was doing, I would have never had most of what I
Mm.
have right now.
But quick question.
Yeah,
Palacio Bullycamp, it just didn't made up by just Palacio himself. Think
correct.
we know you're a family unit, right?
Yes, sir.
How important it is because you keep more than one dog, more than two dogs, more than three
Yeah,
dogs. You keep two litters, three litters at a time.
yeah.
Talk about that, man. How important is the family, bro?
Luckily, brother, I'm super blessed to have an amazing family. Starts with the wife. Wife loves dogs. She does whelping. We do everything together. We have a
Yeah,
great relationship.
because I know you be
Um,
asking, you be right there asking the question. She right there with you right
she's
now.
right there. She's right there, ready
Most
to go.
definitely.
She's done everything with me, and I could put her against a lot of people, and she could outdo a lot of people from stacking to everything. She's amazing. And then my kids, since they're small, you'll see videos of our first homicide litter, and they've always helped us stack. They helped us whelping, cleaning, throughout the process. Not only are they helping me, but we're spending time together. It's a beautiful thing, man. And to me, it's like um, I think everybody's dream to be able to do stuff with their kids, their wife, and do something they love at the same time and be successful at it. It's awesome. So something I tell my kids and my wife all the time is like we were able to accomplish something that not a lot of people will accomplish. It takes years and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of good luck to get here. So we've lost a lot of vacations, I lost a lot of things. So I make sure I tell my kids that, and I share the good and the bad. When there's bad, negativity or good, I always make sure to share both of them, and it teaches them about life. So it's been a blessing, and if the chemistry that we have together is what makes us to be able to have this. If you think about most lines, that are created. They're created by people who have a lot of bread, a lot of money, or they have big facilities or big things, and they have like staff. And so we do everything from the designs to the ultrasounds to the AIs to the TCIs to the whelping, everything, brother. It's just me, my kids, and my wife. Nobody else. No handouts, and most important, every dog you see on the camp was produced. Only dog that was purchased was one dog. Everybody else was produced. So everything you see is just me, my kids, and my wife. From
Yeah,
hard work, brother. Sacrifice and a lot of hard
most
work.
definitely, bro. I see, bro. I see it in your videos and all of that. It's always you and your family, bro. I
Yeah,
always see that.
for
And you
sure.
know what I mean? Not a lot of people have it. Most of us out here doing it on our own. We got family, but we still doing it on like, you know what I mean, doing it on our
Definitely.
own. But
Yeah.
as I'm saying, man, it's a good setup, and you got it's
Thank you,
always good
brother.
when people, I would say, like when you have a unit to work with, you know what I mean? And it's good when you could let's work with your family, your own, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you could say, if say something to happen is, you know what I mean, you retired is something that you really like. 'Cause we know that the American bully, the community is very harsh.
Yeah.
It's like the desert is very you kind of on your own. Do you feel comfortable leaving this legacy with your family, or you think when it's Palacio done, it's just boom?
That's a good question, bro. You mean like passing it on to my kids, you
Yeah,
mean?
passing on to your kids. Like, do you feel comfortable with the state of the community? As I'm saying, we're not gonna
Oh,
act like
gotcha, gotcha.
it's
Gotcha, I get what you're saying.
the
What I would
most.
teach them, what I would teach them as far as like if they wanted to do this and continue doing it,
Hmm.
it's kind of like how we do it right now. We just focus on the dogs, stick to yourself, be good to people, and just they see me. They see me how I carry myself, how my wife carries myself, and so I think that the community will also be better by the time I hang up the boots. So I think it'll be in a good state. I think it'll be a good thing.
The reason I'm asking these questions. Your kids are young too, but what I'm saying, as you said, you missed out on a lot of vacation. I know you and your wife probably want to go on a cruise someday. You know what I mean? You just want to like, yo, man, I'm done with the bullies, man. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep what my studs, and you know what I mean. That's about it. But do
Yeah,
you like feel comfortable like leaving this? You know what I mean? Say, yo, listen, you could eat from this. You could it's something that you already love already. You know what I mean? You want to continue this? Do I feel comfortable leaving with this? The community is not the greatest.
I see what you're saying.
You know
To
what I
be
mean?
honest, I probably would totally leave it up to them if they even want to do it. I wouldn't push it on them. If they
Hmm.
did want to do it, um, I would push them to do it because I think it's been an awesome experience. I think in anything in life, even if they were to go do something else, they're gonna run into different obstacles, different negatives and positives. So it's all about what they like. They all like it. I just don't know if they'll want to, do it the way we do it. I think it
Hmm.
takes a special, like a special person to push this like the way it's supposed to
Hmm.
go. So I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'd rather them just do something else, more chill, where they could go on vacation with their kids and they could go,
Yeah,
take some time off. So maybe not. Maybe I like them to do something else. And this is a hard work. This is really hard work. So the
little.
goal is for them to live off of, and grow off of what we're doing. So
Hmm.
I hope that we can make it grow even bigger to where they don't even have to get their hands dirty
But,
or
but
anything
just
like
make
that.
this real though. When the last time Palasa take a vacation, man? You and the
As
wife just
far
take
as
a vacation, like, yo, we going, we just
it's
go.
been probably like 5 years, like 5, 6 years.
All right. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying too.
yeah, man.
That's why I'm asking you this question. Do you really want to leave this on your kids?
I know, I know, I know.
You
I
see what I'm saying?
mean, I think to be honest, it's not like a bad thing either because we have a blast here. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? We do a lot of stuff and we do local stuff. But as far as like traveling,
Yeah.
I don't like to travel anyways. I don't like to go too far. So, and everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's having a blast. We're united. And I think so I think that if they have the same experience that I had, as far as, yeah, you don't go on vacations, but you had this beautiful family together.
Hmm.
I would love for them to experience that,
That's
especially
what's
like
up.
being older. Um, and obviously learning through all the mistakes that we did, I'm sure they'll have even a better experience. So there's nothing like I said, that unity at the end of the day, uh, being together like with your family. I would like if, for example, they go work somewhere else. You could go on vacation, but you really can't go see your family because you're stuck somewhere working.
Yeah,
So, if they could do something where they could spend all day with their fam
yeah,
and hang out and spend moments together and make memories, because that's what you take down to the grave, then
yep.
hell yeah, bro. I would love for them to do it. I would love for them to take it. I wouldn't focus so much on the community. Um, I will focus more on like just prepping them mentally for the community, if that makes sense.
Perfect, perfect answer, bro. All
You know
right.
what I mean?
Some of the ups and downs that, as I remember last time I talked to you, you just start having some litters again. You went through a spell without having litters, right?
Yeah,
Like a
yeah,
year, a year.
yeah.
You had like a
Yeah,
couple misbreedings, a couple just never took, and you was
like nine in
like, how do
total.
you deal with that, bro? Like, explain like the ups and the downs. How did Palacio
Uh,
deal with that?
so luckily, the vision was always like I told you when you asked about the promo. Like the way I go about it is like we're going to war. So I never thought it was smart to go to war just with one female. So I always breed multiple females, and we have co-owns that we also breed outside the camp too. So luckily we've never been where we have no breedings on the ground. When they all hit, it's chaos. It's a lot of
A lot of work.
work. But when those litters have hit, it wasn't so much that we missed it. It was that we already had reservations for all of the like slots for those
Mhm.
litters. So that was a drastic. That was drastic because you work so hard to get people's attention, to get things going, to get some hype going.
Stick a pin. But
Yeah,
in those times too, when he was not producing as much,
yeah,
you was still like hitting the ground, like you
yeah,
producing.
yeah,
So I know people have you have a waiting list. And I know those people calling because they probably put down the deposit, like, yo, what's going
yeah,
on? When this gonna happen? Like,
yeah.
how do you like explain to them like, hey, breeding that we planned, we did everything that we could do, but it never
Yeah,
happened. It's
yeah.
what I mean,
So
with God's
so
beast
so
stuff
what I
just
do
what I mean,
is
we go
right
left.
when they lock in on that litter, what I do is I give them, since I have multiple litters, I always tell them to pick a plan B. And what I do is I'll hold slots for them on that plan B. So if the first one doesn't catch, I have a plan B for you. If they don't want that plan B at the moment, then they could just wait for it. It's always tough to tell the customer because we're both excited. I'm excited, they're excited. But luckily, we have an awesome fan base. People love our dogs, and I've had people who waited a year before for a dog
Mm.
because they just really want that litter. I've had people where they wait 2 years. So sometimes it's like I said, it's just a big blessing to have that following and have a lot of people that like the dogs. But always have multiple females, and like I said earlier, a lot of our dogs have the same bloods. So if one doesn't hit, the next litter is not so different. So it's
Mhm.
easier for me to fulfill those uh, customers that want those dogs.
But you have that one stubborn customer though. How you deal with
Oh
that?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, there's customers that will basically like tell you, you know what, if that one didn't confirm, then let me buy that last first pick that you had on the other one, and then they start, pushing or
But
but
when you
but
have
most people are
plan,
good.
when you have plan on that first pick, how do you deal with that?
What do you mean?
Like when you plan that first pick, like, hey, I'm gonna keep this one, and yeah, you ended up gotta sell him. Like how that go? How do
You're
you
saying
like
like
you wrap your head around that one?
when
Because
somebody wants a first pick?
yeah,
To be honest, I've only done it, I think, twice in all the time I've been doing this for almost 10 years. And it was just because it was really important for my program, but it was just such a big number that you couldn't turn down, brother, to be honest.
okay, okay, okay.
And not only the number, but I'm like, I could have this dog and use it here, but what an opportunity to have the dog because it was overseas. So I'm like, what an opportunity to have your blood somewhere that it probably will never reach. You know what I mean? So, sometimes I even help people with the prices a little bit just to help get the dogs over there.
Yeah,
So, I'm okay with doing first picks, but I always live by the law of never give up your first pick, female or male. So usually every litter the target is to keep them. So it's not
Just to
something
keep
I
them.
usually do where I'm like, yeah, you can have my first pick. It's usually not the normal.
Not normal. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 Because the first pick is so very important because that's what move your camp to the next level. You know what I mean? So it's very
Yeah,
important. But I know, as I'm saying, even this dude Raul from QBN, he was in that
yeah,
situation. Didn't want to sell his first pick, but he promised this dude the first pick, and he decided to come up off of it. But he wasn't feeling it. He was salty about it, but he had to. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I understand. I understand that. I understand that part. But at the end of the day, you got to make the customer happy as well. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Customer
The only
service.
time I'll give a first pick, it's if it's like a litter that I already did once and I'm doing a repeat,
Hmm.
then I'm okay with because I already have a copy of that, that matchup.
But question: after getting rid of the first pick, like, are you happy doing a repeat again?
Well, I'll keep the first pick from the first one and then sell the first pick from the second one.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's always a plan for that. You let the customer know we could do this. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
you still
Like I
got to.
could do first pick from this one, I could do first pick from this one, but not from these over here because I don't have
Okay.
these combinations. So for
Okay.
me,
Okay.
it's like being ahead of the crowd in my own bloodline, to have certain combinations that others don't have, since
Mm.
it's growing rapidly. So if I don't have this combination, I can't give you, the first pick because I'm the first one that, I need to keep it
So
going.
that's more likely even when you have stud coming taking stuff from like even from the outcross.
Yeah,
It's coming from that too, right?
yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So so customer service on your end. How do you, as I'm saying, we got stubborn customers. We got customers
Yeah.
that sometimes the breeder go wrong, sometimes the customer could go wrong. How, like, what's the process of taking care of that certain issues that may
Um.
come up?
Well, for one, communication is the number one thing. Um. Overall, customer service is one of the hardest things, and I think anybody could agree on that. And if you go to customer service at Walmart, customer service at AT&T, it's tough. And if you analyze, and if you ever worked in customer service, you'll have regular customers that know how to talk, nicely, and then you have other ones that talk a little differently, and they're a little bit more upset about their situation, stuff like that. The goal overall, my message to always to everybody is always do everything with your best intentions. Always have your heart in the right place, and always try to see everything from different point of views, not just your own, so that you could do always the right thing. Um, so, like just like in any process, like for example, if you're gonna take your car and it has an issue at a dealership, you gotta drop off your car. They gotta check it. There's certain documentation, certain tests, certain things. So all those things, and then I usually try to see these things to try to help people if they're having issues with their dog. If it could be anything, it could be like a health, it could be what's it called, behavior. It could be that they don't want to eat. Whatever it is, we're always on call 24/7. You could always call us, text us. We speak to a lot of our customers. We also become really good friends with a lot of our customers, and we communicate all the time. Sometimes it becomes bigger than dogs. But the focus with customer service is always to take it slow and try to help the person step by step. You can't make everybody happy. Sometimes you got to do what's right, what's wrong. Every situation is different. But definitely, we always have a good heart into everything we're going to, and we usually try to go the extra mile with the customer service. It's the biggest thing. It starts off when the person is asking you questions, how you say good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, being polite with, the way you speak. And then once they have a dog locked in, I think part of the customer service is the same thing as making sure they get updates on their pictures and the dogs, because they want to see them, they're excited. And then after that dog leaves here, um, here and there, a little, hey, how's the dog doing? How's everything? And then try to help everybody. At the same time, you got to keep in mind too that some people buy dogs and they don't know how to handle a dog. They don't know how to, different situations with dogs. So they might react to things differently. And then since we've been doing dogs so much, we might react to it differently too. So it's one of those tough zones of customer service of trying to make everybody happy, doing the right thing. We never, 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 never do the wrong thing. That's for sure.
Stick a pin.
Yep.
Again, let me reiterate it. Kind of tipsy, but anyway. If you want to interact on the chat, please go to my Instagram. Go to the links on my Instagram. You will see my YouTube and my Facebook. You could join the chat from there. Okay? If you want to interact with the chat, please go to my Facebook, my Instagram. The links, if you go all the way up top on the left, you'll see the links for my Instagram and my Facebook. Not well, in Facebook and YouTube. So if you're on Instagram, check that out, and you could join the chat on Facebook or YouTube. Thanks again for your cooperation. I'm out.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, makes sense.
So
Makes
yeah,
sense,
just like
Palacio.
case by case, every case is different. But overall, what we represent is um, to try to do everything as professional as possible.
Uh,
Try to help every person as much as possible, and try to make them as happy as possible that we can.
all right. So a new customer come to you, never owned a bully before. Tell you, hey, Palacio, I like your dogs, right? You got some wonderful dogs. I want dogs looking exact like that. How do you explain to the customer, hey, we're doing this breeding. This is what it is right now. How do we get like? They're probably looking for some mentorship along the way as well, because you already know it's new breeders,
Yeah,
uh, new up and coming breeder. They're trying to get into that stature. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So how do we go about that? How do we explain to the customer? How do we bring them in? At least usher them in to get into breeding. And if you have any tricks and tips on how to do that, please add that to the conversation.
yeah. So definitely, most people that ask, at least for myself, they're speaking for myself, that ask for my dogs, they already been following me for a while. So since I do a lot of line breeding, 9.9 out of the time, you're getting dogs that look just like the ones I have on my stuff. Once in a blue moon, like when you do an outcross, you do have to tell the customer, hey, this is an outcross. If they ask you what's an outcross, explain to them. But I always make it clear what type of breedings I do. I do like line breedings. I also give them pictures of the parents. I give them pictures of the pedigrees. For the most part, most people, like I said, most people that are buying these dogs, since they're not cheap, they know what pedigrees are at the least, as far as like the generations. I usually break it down to them. I give them pictures also of grandparents to show them.
Remember, remember, we talking about new breeders coming in, like new people coming in, like first
Yeah,
bullies.
yeah,
So
yeah,
break
yeah.
it down
Even
on that
even
aspect.
even the new ones. I barely, to be honest, I barely get people that don't know anything about the breed.
Mm,
Usually everybody knows somewhat.
okay.
The people that don't know anything are the ones that don't purchase because the scale where I keep my dogs are out their reach. You know what I mean? So I don't deal a lot with people that don't. But when I started, I did run into a lot of people that I had to educate them and let them know what the American Bully was, what the different heights that there is, the different structure types, the bloodlines, and stuff like that. So I usually tell people what type of dogs do they like to get an idea of what size and also their lifestyle. Some people you can also see their page; they're more like of a homebody type person, or they like to travel a lot. Like I've had people who tell me, "Oh, I want to go on hikes with my dogs." So I'm like,
And then
"Well,
what happened?
yeah." So I'm like, if you want a dog like that, you're gonna have to wait for this litter right here. Because
Yeah.
this litter is, I know these two dogs right here are super, on some athletic, crazy running. So
Hmm.
that's important too. But overall, it all depends on the questions that are asked. To be honest, if a person doesn't ask questions, I don't like to throw just random information. But if the person starts asking, then I'm more than happy to answer those
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Cause I uh that I don't agree with that. I don't agree with you on.
Yeah.
Because when you're placing a dog, I just think you need to ask these questions to place the dog, right? That's what
What
I'm
do you
asking
mean?
for that when a new breeder coming in. You know what I mean? Some people might ask, but some they get so nervous they don't know how to put their question together. They're spending so much money, they're nervous anyway spending this money.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they're still trying to get what they need, what they want, but they don't know to put it across. And most of the time, like me personally, if you're buying a
Yeah.
dog from me, like this litter that I have right now, and I need to place one of these males, I cannot just place it in a home that if you want to go hike a trail is like this is not the dog for you. You know what I mean? So me personally, I do my little investigation on the how they set up like if they got space for the dog, they got a fenced in yard. You know what I mean? I do my little research, man. If I just see they even if they have dogs, right? And me personally, I will look if they got trees and all of that, and if you got like a ball spot around the tree and all of that, if the trees got, you know what I mean? Some people post stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, so you're saying more like are they ready for a bully type stuff?
Are they ready for a bully?
Got you,
You know
got
what
you.
I
Okay,
mean?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Because we're not
Yeah,
going to act
definitely.
like we have the most hardest dog to like, a bully is
Yeah.
easy to take care of.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah, for
mean? You
sure.
might
Yeah,
just
yeah.
need to do a walk here and
Other
there. You
dogs,
might
other
need to,
breed dogs that are around it. That's very important too. Stuff that I ask them because
yeah,
bullies are all up in the face, and some breeds don't like that.
makes
If they
sense.
have pools, they're not great swimmers. They could go straight down to the bottom of the pools to make sure they have
Yeah.
screens. They actually ask me a lot, are they good with kids? They're amazing companions. That's one of the things I make it clear to them. They're amazing companions. And then I educate them on like food, educate them on like what bullies act like. I also educate them on like knowing limits on dogs because some people think that these dogs that you could take on some crazy hikes.
Yes.
So individually, every dog will have his limits. So I like to tell them that a lot as well.
That's
And
yeah,
I
that's what I want to hear.
communicate with them. Like whenever I drop off a dog to a customer, they'll get multiple text messages from me, different times like, hey, how's he doing? How's he eating? Everything's good. Because sometimes, like you said, they don't know they're like nervous. And
Hmm.
sometimes they won't even tell you that the dog hasn't ate for 2 days. And I'll be like, dude, what do you mean? And it's like, yeah,
Wow.
because the food was wrong or you grabbed the wrong can or so uh the breed itself is very tricky. So I always try to tell people about the dogs for sure.
Also, yeah, those are the questions I wanted you to answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
you
yeah.
going about it. One of our viewers. Hold on, let me put this on screen. You can see. You can't see the questions. We got one
No.
question just now. He
Let's
said,
see, it's real small. What is an ideal price range for your dogs and why?
okay.
Okay. Um, I would say an ideal price range. I think that if you're selling any dogs overall, I'm gonna say in general, and then I'll say my dogs.
Hmm.
In general, I think nobody should be selling dogs for like under 3K. I feel like that kind of overpopulates having too many dogs with breeding rights in the community. I say like that would be more like pet home prices without papers. So I would say like a good average price that I start off with is males 55 and up, depending on what litter, depending on which stud, which dog you're picking. And then with females, I try to start at 8,500 and up, 8,500 and up. And the reason why, if you were to look at my pedigree, um, not only did the people before me charge these prices, but I've also put a lot of work to make the dogs look the way they do. They're not off of using somebody else's dogs. The productions are off of dogs that I did. So every dog you see on there, it took about a year and a half to raise to be able to get it to breed. So
Hmm.
lots and lots of time took into putting all together to be able to get it to work. Not only that, but we're a family-owned business, and the work that
Sorry
we
about
put
that.
in, no worry, brother. The work that we put in to give Zelda Line and Palacio give Zelda Line a name has been hard. It's a lot of work. So I don't want also so the price ranges are based off of exclusive as well. You're gonna get something that not everybody has. The different combos that are just coming out there, and I also want to other people to value the dogs. So I try to value it at a good price to where it's not like, let me get a dog from that cheap line. It's like I want it to be a value line that looks good. So just like a car, you get a nice GMC of the year, it matches its price. So I kind of that's kind of how I scale it.
All right. All right. Since we you work hard creating this bloodline, right?
Yep.
Your price is your price. What warranty do we get with this price? Since we're talking about that.
So I don't really give a warranty, but what I do is I give my like what is it called? Like what's right. You know what I'm saying? If you take a dog and it has a genetic problem that was born with a genetic issue, and you could bring me a documentation that something happened to that dog or it has something, then it's my job. It should be every breeder's job that's a responsible breeder is to take that from that person and replace it. So that's the biggest thing. So it's not really about a warranty. It's more about like doing what's right and wrong. But obviously, as customer service, as you were talking about, just like in any place, for warranties, you have to have a diagnostic. So it can be from word of mouth. It has to be with something from a professional doctor, whatever. And then, of course, we take care of you 100%. We're somebody who stays busy all year long, so it's not like if you like invest in a camp where they don't have breedings all the time, you're gonna have to wait probably 3 years to get something replaced. So
All right.
that's the part. Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. So what is too far? Like if say you gave me a dog and I have a problem with it, right?
Yeah.
And I need that dog to
That's a good
be
question.
I need you to take care of me, bro.
That's a
No
good question.
homo. But anyway,
Yeah.
need to take care of me.
Yeah.
People crazy these days, so I gotta put that one out there. But what's the process that Palacio Bully Camp requires you to do after you get all of these, right?
Yeah.
You get all of the information that you need so you could take care of us. What to do and what not to do to make sure
So
everything the process runs smooth.
yeah, so that's a good question. I would say one. So I'm gonna say it from the you're saying from the point of view of the customer,
Yeah.
right? For one is what I said before earlier is communication. It's a moment where you could feel frustrated because you're going through that situation, and at the end of the day, it's something that's not in our control. We try our best, all of us breeders, to do our best jobs as we can. But like I said, the job is to take care of you. So in order to take care of you, communication is the key. So it's being respectful with the person that sold you the dog. They didn't do it on purpose. If let's say you did have an issue with a dog, and then definitely when you take your dog, I would say something that makes sense because if you bring me a dog back at 3 years old and say it has an issue, what happened? Again, it has to make sense. Where let's say, for example, it's a heart issue, right? So you're gonna tell me that from 1 years old to 3, you never took that dog to get checked. You know what I mean? So it has to make sense. So most of the time, like if you read up on dogs and you know dogs, most issues will show up before the year. So if it's before the year and in a timely manner, then of course that's perfect. But if somebody says a 5 years old, 6 year old dog, then it's like, nah, that doesn't make sense. So, um, but again, in all the time I've been doing this, it's not very common that there's issues. And if there is, the best way is to go to your vet first. That's the main thing I tell everybody. Try not to go to Facebook doctor, Instagram doctor. Just take your dog to the vet. He'll give you a office visit notes, and they're professionals. They went to school for this, and they'll be able to tell you exactly what it is, and then I'll be able to help. Any breeder. This is for any breeder. You'll be able to, as a customer, that breeder will be able to help you better and be able to not just take your word for it, but have a documentation that means something. And then at that moment, what you do as a breeder is try to help that person as much as possible. Don't ignore them. Don't leave them hanging. Don't let them crash out by themselves, like if they were just a piece of shit, because these people have invested in your camp. So, you got to try to be as helpful as possible. Um, and again, at the end of the day, no matter how good you could do, some people just won't be satisfied. But you, no matter what, try to do always that same process. So on the breeder side, there's a process, and on the customer side, there should be a process. The same thing as a car. You have a problem with a car, you got to go to the mechanic. You don't go into the mechanic store and start screaming at the mechanic. You know what I'm saying? You hey, look, this is the issue. They check it out. You get a diagnostic. You go back to the dealership. Hey, I got this car that has this problem. They check it also, and they take care of you. You know what I mean? And everything's done perfectly and smooth and whatever. But the reason why maybe that dealership has those protocols and mechanics and shit like that is because there is people who try to get over on the dealerships, just like there's people who try to get over on breeders, which is a reality. You know what I mean? So I think that that's two points of views on things, and that's why you have to learn how to be a customer. You have to learn how to be a breeder, both of them at the same time. But I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes sense. And just to say, not trying to sideline you, a little, not trying to sideline you on none of this.
No,
This
no, not at all.
question, I got to, as a
All day, brother.
journalist in the dog community in general,
Yeah,
it's a couple questions I got to ask. Right?
let's do it.
You probably gonna know about this question I'm gonna ask you now, which is a couple of days ago. There's a couple of stuff that came up with your camp, right? With Ohm's law. You know what I'm talking about? Ohm's law. He
No,
had an issue with a couple of dogs that he purchased from you. I don't know if you want to iterate on that question, like you want to reply to it or not. You could go ahead. You know what I mean? But I know little problems was there. Do you want to like comment on that?
no problems, brother. We love everybody. There's always positivity. Like I said, we're always open arms to everybody throughout the process from when we started to now. There's always been, some type of differences. Was, it's normal. But like I said, we don't hate nobody. We love everybody. We want to see everybody be successful. 2026 is a brand new year, and everybody should be spreading love. Everybody should just continue to do good. And like I said, all I know, spread love, man. That's all I gotta say is there's no negativity on this side. We don't hate nobody. We love everybody, and that's how we got here. For the last 10 years, we've been doing the same thing. We've been loving everybody, spreading love, doing the right thing. And we hope everybody the best. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all we could say is we hope everybody the best and everybody's productive.
All right, there you go. You hear that from Palacio Bullies. 2026, we just spreading love out here in the community, and that's where it's at. But anyway, what's coming up for Palacio Bully Camp, and we need to look out for this for 2026. We know you start off running hot.
One of
What we
the
gonna
one of
see
well,
more like more sprints? What's going on?
yeah, yeah. Before I jump on that, I want to say a little something if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So it's all positive. I think it's all positive for the community, but I think that if hold up, I think that if it's important that if the community is going to be united, I think that if you call yourself a breeder, we should all understand each other and never um, look down at each other or throw hate at each other because whatever could happen to me could happen to you, could happen to everybody. So it's like our fellow breeders, right? So we should always, when things happen, we should always react to it as if it could happen to ourselves. And again, this is not easy to get where I'm at. I don't think, and like I said, I think 9 out of 0.9, and I'm not saying this to act like super like cocky or nothing like that, but 9 out of 0.9 of people will not be able to fit in my shoes, brother.
Most
So
definitely.
I try my best to help everybody as much as possible. I love everybody. A lot of people are behind me. I got support everywhere from Italy, from Barcelona, from Brazil, from the rocks under. You could find it, and we got love worldwide, and it's because of what we represent. And if there's somebody that's unhappy, like I said, we love you, bro, and we're always willing to help you out more and whatever we could do. But every single situation,
Yeah.
we've always tried to do it as best as possible that we thought was that the best. So if it was short, you know, we apologize, but we know for sure we never took in nobody's money. We've never left nobody hanging with something that was, we've always tried to do the best we can.
Okay, since you go back that, I want to reiterate on this question though. But question, this is last. So if you want to answer, you answer. If you don't want to answer it, don't answer it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What went sour with that? With that, if you want to say.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think that I don't know. Again, it's there's different situations from the time I've started to now that they're still like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I said,
All
we
right,
try to do the best we can.
I'm gonna put
The
it this way:
process that you
Palacio ain't
asked,
gonna go that all positivity for 2026. Then, all right,
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. Kind
Let's
of like
go.
the
Let's go
process that
ahead
you asked,
further.
the process that you asked earlier about like if something's wrong with and how do you go about it. That's what we've done with every person the same way throughout all of
Okay.
it. But yeah,
All right.
moving forward, 2026.
Hold
We
on.
got
Hold on. Hold
yeah,
on. Hold on. Back up. Back up.
yeah.
All right. This guy asks, "What blood do you think works best with your blood?"
Good question. So far, the ones I've seen mixed with is Louis V blood. I've seen Golden Child blood. I've seen I saw Waffle House go to our blood as well too. And
You got to put me on to that. I want to see that.
yeah,
Waffle
yeah,
House. I'm
Waffle
kind
House.
of
Wait,
curious
who was
about
the one
that.
that had Waffle House? Shit. I'll send it to you. I'll forward it to you so you can see it.
Yeah.
But they look really good. I think that our blood is very dominant. So far, like especially with Ocean's Blue, people that use the stud, they'll outcross and we'll get a full litter of like super consistent dogs.
Why I say I want to see that later because Waffle House is a bigger dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I asked that question. I want to see that. Definitely want to see that. But go ahead. What is the blood? Whatever. What else blood that you say works best with you?
I said Golden Child hit really, really, really good. Golden
Really,
Child
really
hit
good.
really good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a tragic litter with Golden Child granddaughter, I think it was, and it was full litters of chocolates, lilacs. Came out beautiful, like real, real, real
Muscle,
nice. Yeah, real muscled
big
up, real
head.
beautiful dogs. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's up. That's
And
what's
then
up.
now I'm getting a big wave of people that are bringing dogs that are too line bred with brim blood or too much Rocco blood. So I have a bunch of lock-ins right now from people that want to do that. Yeah.
But what
So,
you
oh yeah,
thought? What you thought with those blood? What you expecting from those bloods though? From the
like
especially the rocker blood. What you expecting?
we did one time with Rocco a while back and it came out real nice. I just feel like if the dog looks good, if the female looks good and looks similar to my dogs, it'll do very well. But if you match two dogs that look totally different, I don't care how good the blood is, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look different. So I just try to like offer like since I have multiple studs on the lineup, depending how the girl looks like, I'll tell him, look, I think this one might be better with this one. I always give him my opinion. I have a good eye for matchups. So I
Hmm.
always try to, give my opinion on what's the best matchup possible.
Okay. Okay. Mm. Well, that makes sense. So you also help the customer out of choosing a stud based
Yeah,
on your experience.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like for example,
Okay.
like if a dog is if they have color, then they could pick any of my dogs because I don't have a colored stud. But if they have a blue stud, like a blue tri, I usually recommend to go with blue tri. I think you're gonna get a more consistent blue on
Quick
blue.
quick question. Since you
Yeah.
talk about that colors, do you embark?
I got Ocean embarked, I got Level embarked, I got a few studs embarked. But when I took those results to my vet, which is the number one specialist out here in Florida, he told me in Spanish, he goes, "¿Qué es esta mierda?" Like, what is this bullshit? And I was like, why do you say that? And he basically said, well, they're only testing for 300 out of probably 800, 1,000 markers. So how much study, so they have like a different way to go about it. The way he did recommend if I wanted to do some more like deep studies on my dogs, he doesn't recommend it because they're healthy, but he said to go to draw blood and then they send it out to like a university and then they do testing through blood, just like us. Like if
Hmm.
you wanted to do genetic testing, I wouldn't recommend doing it with a swab. I would
Nah.
tell you go to a doctor, get a blood test, get it sent in and stuff like that. So um, definitely, I think besides that type of testing, I would say if people are cool with putting their dogs under anesthesia, it would be good to do the OFAs if you're trying to
OFAs,
do
right?
it. Yeah, if you're gonna do that.
But quick question: you think the
Yeah,
wrong testing is taking over the community?
the wrong
Because
testing.
yeah,
I feel like when people talk too much about the embark stuff, I feel like they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I've tested it. Like people have said, "Oh, have you do this, this, this," and they start talking about point percentages, and then I'll say the simple question like, "So explain that a little bit more to me," and they can't.
No, because think about it, right? I had a call with a so-called, you know, what I mean, what do you call it, genealogist or whatever,
Yeah,
right? I had a call with them a couple like it was the year before last year, because that's when the this Emborg thing started coming into play, and me, I got annoyed at it. Like, bro, want to use my stud, and he asked me about Hemborg. I start doing Hemborg, but don't ask me to break it down. I'm gonna send it to you. If you ask me to break it down, that's me. You don't want to breathe to my damn dog because I don't know shit about it. But because this is the reason why I didn't go too deep into Hemborg. I called him up, right? And I was having a conversation with him. And the way they said it is basically, I'm paying you to take what you call that? Take data on my
uh,
dog.
a
That's
database. Yeah,
basically what I'm paying you to do without even telling me that's what you actually doing. And then you
yeah,
just give me back some sort of result
like a
and
guess.
saying
Yeah,
that's supposed to help me when I'm breeding. You know what I
right,
mean? Because then you explain to me, if I put two dogs with two what you call it, two different markers that I don't want to use, that
right,
you don't want to put these dogs together because it might give you a
right,
certain defect or whatever you want to call it. But
right,
these two dogs, because the breed is so young, they might not have these markers,
right. Yeah,
but
you'll
they
see it.
could
You'll see it on the
create
thing.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, you tell me I could create poison with two dogs that never had poison because of what do you call it? What is it again? What do you call that again? I forgot what mutation.
Yeah,
So basically, I'm paying you to study my dog. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you do not, like, if you they tell you straight up, they do not back these results 100%. They do
They
not
don't.
do it. They don't
They do
do
not.
that,
Yeah,
and that's where I have a problem. Because now I'm fucking at a hundred and some dollars for you to do all of this. You know what I'm saying? The only
yeah,
thing I really do for it too, I do it because customers want it.
yeah.
But if you ask me to break this down to you, honestly, I'm not gonna break it down. I can't.
It reminds me of like I don't know if you've ever gotten a blood test for yourself
Hmm.
and you get the results and they put it in your hand. You don't know what the fuck you're looking at,
I
but
don't
then
know.
the doctor breaks it down and it's like boom, boom, boom. But with the genetic testing, I also noticed where it'll give you a result, but then right at the bottom in the fine print it'll say it does not pertain to this breed. So it's like,
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, let me just do an OFA when my dog is ready at 2 years old. That's it. That's all I'm on. That's what I'm gonna do. But for customers, if you want to use my stud Rhino, he is embark.
so
If that's
so
what you're looking for, it's right
so
there.
my thing about the OFA, I think it's useful, of course,
Hmm.
because it's a great
I
test.
believe in that.
But you have to put your dog to sleep,
Yeah.
right? And so imagine you produce an Ocean's Blue, a Magoo, a Chumper, and you go do this test, and your dog dies on the table for anesthesia.
Yeah. And
So
and they
I think
have you
that if
sign
your
that
if your
too.
vet says, "Hey, I think he needs it because he might have a problem," then it should be visible, and you shouldn't just breed that dog. You know what
Read
I'm
that,
saying?
right?
I think that most of the times people who do OFAs because they have great movement, great everything, and it's gonna come out good. But
Hmm.
if a dog is in front of you and is having issues,
You already
that
know.
motherfucker, yeah, you're gonna see that shit, bro, for sure, for sure. But obviously, you need
Yeah.
to see the structure, and it's important. But
Yeah.
that risk,
But Palacio, all right. So
whew,
question. So now you say that
sheesh.
ABKC just put out a new paperwork. For you to get that paperwork, you have to have those OFA. So you think the ABKC is not responsible for it, like unresponsible for it, or what? Like, cause now you're not forcing nobody to get these high quality paperwork,
Right, right,
but
right, right.
to get these high quality paperwork,
Do something. Yeah,
you have to do that to get those. So you
right,
think that
right.
it's like it's responsible for them to put that out?
I think they're trying to improve stuff, so we don't
Hmm.
know if it's gonna improve stuff because at the end of it, I mean, I saw OG Ramos put this the other day on a live. He was like, "Oh, you could get two." health tested dogs, even OFA tested, and they could give you a fucked up dog in different words.
That's what
So
I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's a mutated breed. It's still so young. We still mutating. Like, and that's exactly what they explained to me. And I'm like, so why am I paying you so much money? And now you telling me this, like you telling me this, but you know what I mean? And you're
so
not
so
guarantee results.
not to jump around, but just to kind of reiterate a little bit. So what we were talking about earlier about like if issues pop up and how you go about it and how you take care of it. And then I also brought up about how us breeders, should treat
Mhm.
each other good, right? So that's what I'm trying to say about like what OG Ramos said. Two good dogs give you a bad one, right? So that's telling you that it can happen to any of us, right?
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
that's part of also I think a part of education that not only new breeders need to get, but also people who are just coming in, and even some people who've been here for a while. They don't know that, they don't know that can happen. So that's important. Not only to situations that might pop up on you, but also for you to be able to understand what's in front of you. This is with anything, any type of, if you do horses, if you do snakes, if you do lizards, anything is livestock. So that's like part of what, yeah, what I was saying before.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Which is true. You know what I mean? But hey, this kind of all right. One of our viewers asks.
What was he asking?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you want to answer this one. It's up to you if you want to answer it.
If it's re-
Who's the
if
best
it's
starter in
good
your
stuff,
yard?
if it's not, then you know what I'm saying. If it's good
Who's
stuff
the
and it's
best starter
popular,
in
hell
your
yeah.
yard?
Oh, Ocean's Blue.
Ocean Blue?
Yeah,
All right, there you go. Ocean Blue is the best starter in his yard, bro.
all day. Ocean's Blue. He's
Me personally, I'm not answering that question. I'm letting you know straight up. I
they're
got
they're
too
they're
much
all
stuff.
they're all amazing, but he's the one with the most numbers don't lie, and he's the one with the most breedings under his belt.
Hmm.
He's the most consistent. And he has his looks is one of a kind. And if you see all of his kids, he throws different looks. If you guys see Havoc, I don't know if you guys know who Havoc is.
Yeah, we know Havoc.
Boned up, masked up, way more thicker than him. And then you got dogs like Tyson, like Apex.
I'm gonna say
So he,
this right. I see you post Havoc one time, and I was like, yeah, that dog. I bet that dog can run. And then next, like 3 days later, I see you post one with him sprinting. I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I
Our
mean?
dogs have a
So
lot of
Havoc
drive.
is a nice dog. Just to say,
Thank
that.
you,
I'm
brother.
putting that out there.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah,
You
our
know.
dogs have a lot of drive that comes from Ocean. He's like always wired.
Hmm.
So that's one of the like good traits that even if it's heavy, the boys are moving. Like Apex
Yeah,
can
boy,
move, all
moving.
of them move.
And that video
Yeah.
is on your profile too, so y'all could go check that out. Is on his profile.
Thank you, brother.
You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? Dope ass dog. But as I'm saying too, man, what's coming up for Palacio Bullies? 2026 kicks. Yeah, bro, you out running like Usain Bolt right now. Like you
Thank
going
you,
for the
brother. Thank
record.
you.
So
Yes, sir.
you can't start off slow and finish. You know what I mean? Start off fast and finish slow. So what's going on?
Yeah,
What's coming up?
definitely. So we got a lot of in-house matchups that we're going to be doing as usual. And then we got some outcrosses. We're going to be adding. I know a lot of people are not too huge about the Merleys, but I have an opportunity on my hands to have a real good Merle in my hands. So I'm going to be going to work with him. He's 50% my blood and 50% off of Venom blood, Louis V blood.
Hmm.
So that's going to be a good thing to do later on in the year. It's going to be a nice boom. We also got more out crosses that we're going to be doing. I'm looking into adding some color. So we're going to have our lilac tri female coming in heat. And we have our eyes on a few studs like Joy Boy, Killshot, Joy Boys with Nate. Shout out to Nate. He's one of my favorite breeders right now.
That's
He's
Nate from he's down in Florida as well.
yeah, he's in Florida as well too.
That's
Yep.
to do that own stacks, right?
Nate is NMG, the owner of
NMG.
Homicide.
I'm gonna say okay, okay, cool,
Yeah,
okay. I know you're talking.
yeah. He's out here in Florida, and so different stuff like that. And then we're trying to use like a outside stud from like out of the country, but we're
Hmm.
still searching. We're looking for something different. We're always trying to, start something a little different than everybody. So we're searching. We're doing a lot of searching for something that's not commonly used, as we can say.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes
yeah,
sense. I like that. I like that. You know what I mean? So as I could say, man, I know Palacio. For what I see, I've been seeing Palacio is an innovator. You know what I mean? Innovate new stuff.
thank you, brother.
You know what I mean? And I like that. You're always pushing the level to a different, trying to push to a
Always,
different
brother.
level. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
So, question, as you say, Palacio showing up in the shows, doing any shows this year?
Since I have litters dropping all year long, and I got kids, it's super hard for me to go. So
Hmm.
what I'm planning to do is two things. I haven't announced this yet, but I'm gonna be either putting a what's it called, a handler with one of my chosen dogs to go travel around and get my name out there, or I'm actually gonna be most likely it's gonna be for the dog's gonna be for free, but it's gonna be one of my top dogs that I'll
Hmm.
produce, and I'm gonna be looking for like a prospect that I could find in a real busy city that has a lot of shows, and I want to put them under my wings and give them this phenomenal, beautiful show dog, and have that person, gain what they were supposed to pay, but they're gonna put work in. They're gonna, go to shows. They're gonna be doing stuff, and kind of like put my soldiers out there, productions to hit the show ring a little bit more. Regardless, even if I was to go to the show, I wouldn't be able to show. I have, back problems, so I won't be able to, do too much. When I was younger, for sure, I was in there. I was in there and I was doing everything, but um, I would love to go to some shows. But the closest ones to us are like Fort Lauderdale, I mean Jacksonville. So it's it's not too close. So there's not too many shows out here either. Everything is like farther.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see this strip.
But a lot of our customers usually they because like the whole what's the word, like most people are like, oh, you got to go to shows, you got to go to shows. Well, what we do is we like to show a lot of videos on our
Mm-hmm.
page to give that doubt of what you don't see. So we have a lot of videos on our dogs. And then once those customers are real, real, real interested, we FaceTime them, we show them whatever they need to see.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But this year, though, for sure, Palacio gonna have a dog campaigning then.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We're trying to get our dogs out there ASAP. I keep telling everybody keeps telling me like, bro, your dogs would kill it in the ring.
Yeah,
And we've
I
had people
think so
take
too.
them in the ring and they do well. But I want to do it more like focused, like more on like a plan. Like we're doing it this year, we're gonna put them out and put them in different places, like cities that are super busy, like California, Atlanta, Ohio up north. They also have a lot of shows and stuff like that. So definitely gonna be moving.
Yeah, okay, okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, cause me personally, I don't be seeing. I don't see your dogs out there, like in the ring. So that would be, you know what I mean. That would be nice for me to get some footage of them in the ring as well. You know what I mean.
I think that's like the last little thing that we need as a camp to kind of like just stamp it. I think we have the productions, we got the promo, we have the longevity. We've been doing it for a while already. We're consistent. Um, I think like that's the last thing, just showing up at the shows, getting our dogs out there.
So basically, Palacio just building the dogs that gonna go in the ring. You know what I mean? You've been
Right.
just busy building the dog, but now you have something on the ground that's ready for it.
Yeah, I've had dogs already that have been born that are perfect for the ring. But as I'm raising them, I don't do the best job of training them. So by the
Mm.
time they get to like the one or two, they're just spoiled brats and they don't listen for shit. So I end up just, letting them be dogs, and I'm like, whatever, I'm not gonna bother you. But
So
most of them are hard headed as hell, and
so
even for
so
pictures too, it's hard to stack them for pictures
so you
and all
trying to
that
tell me
stuff.
Palacio don't put his dog on on the stack box and get him ready?
No, bro, I suck at that. I'm super honest, bro. I suck at the training for stacking.
Mm.
Um, I could put them on a stacker when they're puppies and stuff like that, but as adults, it's
Mm.
super hard for me, bro. It's
Super hard. Yeah, I wouldn't want to show up to take pictures, man. It look like a long day of work, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Like
me
when I
when
did it,
like
when I did it,
I got clients when they call me like, hey, I got like four dogs that I don't want to shoot get them shot. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, cool. I show up, bro. Trust me, man. I do
horrible
so much
stackers
things
and
to get
everything.
dogs
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
mood to
yeah.
take some pictures, man. I'm like, it's a
I
headache.
used to I used to do pictures when I first started for like I used to offer photography, and it was tough, man. So that's why I learned how to take pictures real good because I was taking Frenchie pictures, exotic dogs, all types of dogs. So it was really hard,
Exotic
and I,
dogs are easy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I
So
mean? Frenchies, they got a mind of their own, man. When they focus, they focus. You know what I mean? But the
yeah, yeah,
bully is an in between. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Is either he's like like I tell people all the time, if you got a bully that's prey driven, it's the easiest dog to take pictures of because he
Oh
react
yeah,
at everything. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And you get the
Yeah, you
best
move
pictures
us.
from that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But if you got a dog that well trained, then it's kind of get like to get that mean picture that you want to get of the bully. It's kind of hard to get that. You know what I
yes,
mean?
because yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
But if
Hundred
you got a
percent.
dog that's untrained like nothing, I don't even want to see that dog, man, because you can't get him to do shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're hundred
So
percent right.
I'm
Yeah,
leaving
yeah.
that alone. But
You gotta get that tough look so they look pissed off on the picture.
yeah, it just look pissed off and yeah, it was too much. But that
I
one
would
that
say that's the
overtrained, he just
hardest
like
part out of everything in the breeding. I think that's the hardest part is picture taking and promotions. I would say is the hardest.
yeah. I've
Uh,
been to days like where I went out and take pictures, right? And the dog, I take like say 30, 40 pictures, and there's not one that I could actually like, hey, customer, this one gonna work. You know what I mean? And remember, he paid me to take five to send him five good pictures, and then there's nothing that I could send him. Like, hey, this is, you know what I mean? I'll be a fool to try to send him that for his money. You know what I mean? So I just like, yo, we do it another day. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
but
do it
quest
all the time,
uh,
brother. We're always on the
in
picture.
these days and time of promoting a dog, right? You think like pictures are very important or videos? Which one you rather, like a reel or just a picture?
I think both of them. I think both of them are needed, but I think videos are more important
More
because you
important.
could have a, but then they're double questioning if it's real or not, if it's if it's legit because a lot of people that fake their pictures. So I would say videos is more important. Um, but they both are like they both catch different eyes, so they're both as important. And then so usually what I do is for every picture that I take, because it's the camera, right? You're holding it right here. You take a picture, you just switch it to video and take the same picture in the video form, so that if you post a picture and somebody questions you, here's the fucking video. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
for
makes
every
sense.
picture that I post, I got the video of it ready to go. So if
Makes
I don't
sense.
post
Makes
it
sense.
right away, I'll post it like a few months later or a few weeks later because I'm already ready for those type of people that would say that. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm already thinking about you.
You
So I
think,
have
yeah,
them.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you got to
ready.
be very competitive when they like, bro. I like your style, bro. Like how you put
Yeah,
together. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't care how big as you can, bro. But you, when it comes to like promoting, bro, like Palacios on a
thank you,
different
brother.
level. Like
Thank you.
I think everybody could say that. You know what I mean? You're on a different
Thank you,
level when it
brother.
comes to promotion. You know what I
Appreciate you,
mean?
brother.
For a
That
guy
came
that we
from
don't see at the show, or you know what I mean, like
yeah.
you just on point with that shit. You know what I
Thank you,
mean?
brother.
But
Thank you.
if
Thank you.
you gotta like say take on like a mentorship right now, how would a customer like? Because I know approach is like it's very important how
Yeah.
you approach somebody, right?
Yeah.
How do they like if somebody have to approach you right now and you for you to take them on as a mentor, like how would Palacio go about that?
So I have a lot of people who ask me to mentor. So now what I try to do is I try not to kind of what my mentor did to me. He kind of like didn't pay attention to me at the beginning and see how hungry you are, see how persistent you are, how willing you are to be like, hey, I want to learn, like, hey, because everybody says they want a mentor, but then they go and have seven mentors at the same time, or eight mentors. So I don't want to be just wasting my time. So I want to make sure you're interested in me. You're interested in learning from me. Um, so it's really simple with me. Just once the person says, "Hey, I'm looking for a mentor," I kind of could already feed off of their vibes. Kind of like when you meet somebody for the first time, that first impression. Um, to have a good mentorship, you need a great relationship.
Relationship.
So usually off that first vibe that we talk, like when me and you first started talking, is hey, what's up? It's cool. Like I know I could have a good co-ownership with you. I know I could have a good mentorship because you have a good vibe. So I think it's like you said, it's about the approach. So if the approach is weird, I'm probably not gonna pay attention to it. But if the approach is genuine, real nice and chill, I'm always open to teach everybody. I've had a lot of people that I teach. Um, but yeah, that's usually the approach. Is real simple. Just hey, I want a mentorship, and then he's okay. Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense, man. Like the vibe got to be right. You know what I mean? The vibe got to be right. But question is, Palacio open for anything? So anybody will be watching like that's new and want to acquire your service as being a mentor. Like, is Palacio open for that?
I am the only thing. I'm really more open to people that have my blood, like that are either purchasing from me or something. And the reason why is because if for me to give you knowledge, I gotta give you knowledge on something that I know, and I know
Hmm.
my blood better than than the other ones. So
Makes
you could be
sense.
asking me like questions about how does brim blood cross together. I can't tell you because I don't cross brim blood,
You haven't done it
So
yet.
yeah, so if you have like a brim dog or a bloodline and you're asking me for advice on how to breed that blood, then I can't really help you. But if you're just asking overall how to be a better promoter, how to be a better person, how to be a better breeder, overall like ethics and the overall like structure of what breeding is, then obviously I can help you. But if it's like, yo, what do you think I should throw to this female? And the female's like brim blood, and you're not asking me about my studs and you're asking about some other studs, I can't tell you because I don't know those bloods.
Makes sense. Make a lot of sense. You know what I
You
mean?
know?
Make a lot of sense, bro. So at the end of the day, if you're trying to reach out to Palacio, let's be specific what you're reaching out for, basically. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And as I'm
And I'm
saying,
open to
as you tell it right
questions,
there,
whatever you need. There's no bad questions. Whatever questions you have, if it's about
you don't
anything.
believe there's no bad questions though?
Um, I think the only bad question I've ever heard is that hey, if I take care of your dog, if you give me a free dog, I'll give you half the litter.
Yeah,
You know?
for real. You heard that before.
Yeah, yeah. People ask me with the weirdest shit, the weirdest things. Like I have mad space on my crib. If you just send me one, I'll take care of it for you, and I'll let you get half the litter. And I'm like, what? I'm like, nah.
Mm,
Like, or some people like, hey, I got this stud. I want to use one of your females. Like those type of
mm.
questions, stuff like that. That's the ones I'm like, nah.
All
But
right. Quick question.
yeah,
If you have to do all of this over again, because you did make some mistakes along the way, right?
yeah,
And you made some wins along the way as well.
yeah.
But to perfect, so to do this all over again without the, should I ask the question though? I'm gonna ask anyway. If you got to do all of this over again, get into the bully breed,
Like,
start breeding these dogs, right?
yeah.
Trying to eliminate all the mistakes. How would Palacio go about it?
With the same blood, or
I don't care whatever blood you want to go with.
so
How
just
would
starting
Palacio go
from
about it?
scratch. Yeah. So in the beginning, I wasted like 2 3 years messing with the exotic dogs a little bit. So I would have erased that for sure. I would have gone straight to pockets. Then when I got with the pockets with Zelda, I think I should have the second breeding with Little Magoo. I think was like kind of like meaningless. It wasn't. It didn't help me too much. Um, so I would have skipped that one. So probably I would have just gone straight Zelda to like a female like her with that structure, a clean, tight skin. By that time, when I was here in the beginning, if I had to start over, I think Chumper was younger, so I probably would have gone straight to Chumper. And Magoo was around still, so I probably would have bred
Mhm.
straight to
Direct.
Magoo. And
Okay.
so, yeah, so if I would have done it over, I'm pretty sure I would have fell in love with the same dogs. I love the look that Chumper
You
has and
don't think you
Magoo.
would have been further though? If you don't think you would have been
Oh yeah,
further if
yeah,
you just went straight to the source?
yeah, hell yeah, for sure. I would have been way more advanced already in the gene pool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would have been able to cross over to dogs like Mr. Bean, like let's say some Magoo kids to Mr. Bean, like that, and do more work with the blood. But once Magoo was shipped over to China, it kind of left nothing around. So if I
Mm.
could start over, I wish I could start over knowing what I was gonna do, which that's the purpose of it, and move a little bit faster.
You said that about Magoo. You know, somebody reached out to me. I was talking about dogs, and they said they wish they had a chance to use Magoo but Magoo just left. Like Bashar got rid of him too early.
Everything, yeah, exactly, yeah,
Like when he was just start taking off, that's when Bashar just got rid of him. Like
correct,
because I
yeah,
had Bashar on a couple weeks ago, and it was like, yo, that's one dog that think he got rid of too early. Like the U.S. market never got it like how they're supposed to got it. You know what I mean? And I was like, to me, it just sound like they wanted that golden child breeding status. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and that's what it sounded like to me. But hey, at the end of the day, Bashar was a businessman. He made a business move. You know what I mean?
yeah. That was a
That
big
made
one,
sense
bro.
to him. But
That was a
yeah,
big one.
yeah,
That shit
that's
went
what's
in
up, bro.
history, man. That was like the biggest sale I think
Yeah,
you know. But
yeah,
definitely,
but
I think that's the route I would have done it because there would have been more options
more
of
options, right?
dogs that are now in the third and fourth pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would have been able to move a little bit faster.
Mm. But question, and these days though, you think that people's not buying the right dog to start their program off with, like spending the money for the right dogs? Because
I think
I
it's
was,
it's hard. It's hard for customers nowadays because there's so many breeders.
mm-hmm,
So it's hard for them to get like distracted on
mm-hmm.
what's the best, and they don't know what's the best. So I think that a lot of the times they just buy what looks cool, and they don't even know what a program is. So they just buy what's cool, and then I think by the time they raise that dog and it gets to like one, then they figure out they got the wrong dog.
Yeah, the run dog, right? Because
You know?
the other day it was on a live. It wasn't about him though, but PBK said his program, it didn't take him years to do it because he started off with the right dog, and that kind of I keep on remembering that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Starting off with the right dogs, but when it comes to the right dogs, I think people don't want to spend the money for the right dogs.
that's true.
You know what
That's
I'm
true as
saying?
well.
And then
Yeah,
they stuck in a money pit. I understand now they spend more because they're trying to create the right dog off a mediocre dog, and then you know what I
well, I
mean?
think I think also as well too, like that's one way to look at it, but I don't think it should be looked at like, okay, you paid top dollar and this girl is the one that's gonna get me to like no matter how much you pay, no matter how good the dog is, you still need to go to work. You know what I mean? So I think that even if you get that perfect dog, you still gotta make the right choices of who to match it up to. And I think that's where people go wrong, that they just match up the wrong dogs and that bloodline never happens because you only have a certain amount of breedings to get off that female. So if you don't do the right
Shit.
matchups to create a bloodline, you kind of can't create one.
Makes sense. This person just asked, "Have you ever seen Easy Money in person? And would you use Mother Mustang blood today?"
Yes, I have seen Easy Money in person. He lives like 45 minutes from me.
Mm,
Beautiful dog, thick as hell, a lot of bone, a lot of mass. Uh, Not on the tighter skin side, more on the like bulldoggy side, but he's a beautiful dog, beastie dog. And would I use muscle tone blood today? Yes. I've had one dog that I've had in mind. I forgot. I think his name is Fuse, I believe.
Fuse.
Yeah, Fuse. I had in mind, and another one. I forgot his name. Like, it's a fawn dog. The beanstalk look, I'm not a big, huge fan of. But I like the look that he's starting to come off of beanstalk with.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
Fuse came out. That's a Beanstalk son. Nah,
yeah,
nah, that's a King Kong
King
son.
Kong, King
But
Kong, yeah,
Beanstalk is King is King Kong's
King
dad.
Kong's dad, correct, yeah.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
I think he's starting
Hmm.
to clean it up a little bit and getting that look back that he had before, which is what I fell in love with. That's the reason I fell in love with. So I would use muscle tone dogs, and I also think since my dogs have such a great foundation of muscle tone, that if I throw it to any of his dogs, I think it would click the same way when I throw muscle tone's Prince to my blood or when I throw homicide. It just clicks because that's what it has inside of it.
Makes
Um,
sense.
yeah,
Makes
so I
sense.
think it would
Makes
do
sense.
very well.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, because your bottom line is off of muscle tone to chumper and from chumper on.
Yeah, the only one in the bloodline that I was never really able to get my hands on too much at all, because not too many people have it, because he passed away, I think, from a snake bite, was Chavez Bully's catch pop.
Oh, you was trying to use that dog?
So that's one of the dogs in my bloodline. So I was always trying to find dogs that had it so I could add more to it, but you can never find dogs that had cash pot. Very little bit.
Mm.
You'll find a few dogs that had the blood.
Hey, I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop this gem. I will know tomorrow. I might have a cash for something coming my way. I'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
like
Is it from
right before the
what's this
live,
guy's name?
right before this lives, a personal friend of mine reached out to me about that. Right before this live, but I'm gonna find out tomorrow if I'm gonna get it.
Is it what's this guy's name? There's a guy that I think purchased a few credits off of
Mm.
I think it was Cashpot and his one of his sons. I forgot the son's name.
Mm. Just know I got something coming back. Might be coming my way. I'll find out tomorrow 5 o'clock.
Yeah, like some
But
bloods that I wish I could use
mhm.
that you don't see too much of right now. It's like Razor Edge. I wish there was more Razor's Edge to throw to.
Hey, think about it though. Dave Wilson got so much blood on his yard, but he got this one dog they call the game.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful dog, but I haven't seen nothing off of him. I don't know why it
So
is
let me
not
ask you,
breeding
if
him.
you don't mind, let me ask you something.
Talk to me.
So what do you think about um breeders that are glorified for doing great promo with studs, but if I would say the goal for all of us is to have a bloodline, those studs that are glorified with that breeder are glorified because he's famous, but the dog itself that's being glorified, that dog doesn't even have like generations behind him. So the question is, do you think a lot of times famous studs are being used because they're famous and they really don't even produce?
If your dog is trash, it's trash. If you ain't produce nothing, you trash until you produce something.
Well, okay. So when you say productions, I've seen people say, "Oh, my stud is a producer," and they show like a collage, for example, of different dogs that are dope. But those are one single dog from.
Hey, Plus,
Dip.
I know where you go. I know where you going with this.
You get what I'm saying?
I know where you going with this, and I'm gonna say this to you. I'm gonna put it this way:
Yeah.
if you start glorifying yourself as, matter of fact, glorifying your dog as a producer, and he only produced to one blood, you're not a producer, bro. You have to produce to different blood. Facts.
You're right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I know where you're going with this. And facts is facts. You got to produce a different blood. You
Yeah,
can't
you're
just
right. You're right.
you gonna say your dog is a producer and you're gonna produce the rocker blood
That's the key right there
and
with
can't
different
produce
bloods.
I never seen him produce the muscle tone. I never seen him produce the venom. I never you know what I'm saying along the lines. You got to at least three different kind of bloods to say yo. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it this way. I call it the drag effect. Right? You gotta if you go to the track and you run a rate, you run a 7-1, a 7 at the track, right? And then your second pass, you can't back it up and you say you can't run a 7 in your second pass. That that 7 that you run is a floater. You know what I mean? Your car ain't really a 7 second car. You got to back that up. You see what I'm saying? And that's the route I'm gonna go with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't call yourself a producer if you never produce with different blood, and
Yeah. I
that's
like that. I like
facts.
that. I like that. I like that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That makes me actually have to step it up because see I could say that about Ocean, but I can't call my other studs producer just because they're producing good with my dogs. So I got to
I
make sure that.
see you honest. You honest about it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? You
I'm
honest
super
about it.
transparent. I gotta step it up. We gotta step it up.
Yeah.
Gotta do bigger promo, get more females that are out crosses, get them going, and get the studs moving.
And then you could say, hey, listen, he produced with this blood, he produced with this blood. But then again, too, you could steer your customers like, yo, listen, You got this blood. Hey, ocean blue is the dog for you, or Avok is the is he gonna click with that because he done
Yeah.
it already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody come over to you right now and hit you up about your blood, you know what I mean. You're probably gonna talk on your ass because you're trying to make a sale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is that right? No, but see what happened with the breeding. You see what I'm saying? Give
Yeah.
the dog a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
For sure.
And that does make way more sense to me than talk yourself in a corner that talk yourself to a fucking a check that you're asking cash. You see
Yeah.
what I'm
Hundred
saying?
percent. Yeah. Yeah.
Simple.
100%.
But yeah, don't go around and use that word and saying that your dog is a producer when come on, bro, you only bred to one style of dog. Like, come on, make it make sense.
100%. 100%.
You know what I mean? Even the dude say if you ever seen Easy Money, yo, Easy Money bred to a lot of different blood. It's proven. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
get you
Is he
now. I
might
get you
something that
now. That's
Golden
the key.
Child,
That
same
that's the
shit.
key. That's the key. What you said right now is the key to the collage that I was misinterpreting because I was like, damn, it's only one dog from every litter. But now by saying that, I'm like, okay, wait, it's a dog now from different bloodlines.
Hmm.
So it shows more.
Makes
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sense.
I like that
Makes
angle.
sense.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this too. A lot of people judge a dog by consistency, like how consistent the litter was. Me personally, if you could pick a top, like at least two or three top dog from a litter, I could say your dog is a stud, bro. You know what I mean? He's a stud. If you could pick
Yeah.
three good dogs from a litter, like at least out of say 5 or 8, you know what I mean? Your dog is a stud. I think you got some value with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the goal is to get consistent. But if you could get at least three dogs out of it, like you say, this is second pick, first pick, third pick. You know what I mean? Your dog is a stud.
Yeah.
Is he the best producer? Probably not. But you got something for the money you spent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did get something
Definitely.
for the money you spent. So that's just my point on it. Like a lot of people, a lot of people can look at it differently. That you know what I mean might not be a producer according to their standard,
Yeah.
but to my standard, my point of view, I think that's a stud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's more reliable. He's more
Yeah.
reliable.
Because if I could sell at least one of his puppy and make back my money that I pay for that stud, yo, it stud did his job. And I kept
Yeah.
one, the stud did his job, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
his stud. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, y'all could write in the comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Have you ever seen a ugly stud that produces very well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. Brim ain't the prettiest dog to me. But would I use Brim in my program? Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying.
He
Yeah, yeah. He
produced some
produces
nice
good.
ass dogs. Like, bro, to me, like, if I could own Brim, I would own Brim. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Don't get it twisted. Cause I know the bag he gonna make me. Right? And the dog that he gonna create for me.
yeah,
But is Brim the overall dog that I want? No. Golden Child is Golden Child's a dog that I want in my camp and say, yo, that's I'm gonna
yeah.
walk around and say I got the best looking stud. No,
They're great tools.
but they're great tools. That's why Ashton deserved everything he got at ABKC. Like I think they took too long to give him that top producer.
He's been
You know
killing
what I'm
it for a
saying?
minute. Yeah.
They should have got that like 4 or 5 years ago. You
How
know what I'm
many?
saying?
I think they said the number. I don't remember the number, but it was some crazy
It
number.
was some crazy numbers, man.
It's
Yo,
oh, shit.
yeah, just imagine you the guy that pulled that dog every time he ever breathing. Huh? Damn, you gotta love them nuts, man. For real,
Yeah,
for real. Yo, you'll be like,
Gosh.
yo, what the heck? Like
Shit,
this dog,
and I
like,
think
yo,
that having a stud that's famous like that is way better than breeding all year long. Because if you notice, he doesn't breed a lot, but he has a stud that's boom, 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 boom. So it's like I'd rather have a famous stud like that than
Mm. Hold on. You see that
uh
last comment?
who is the best stud on your thing? It says
Uh,
it also says,
Listen,
have you seen Easy
listen.
Money in
How much credit do
person?
you give to female throughout? Like, if your stud only makes nice puppies to quality or decent female,
I think you always give credit to the female because she's gonna hold it down. I think the only way you could really say it's the stud by itself if it's a real ugly girl, and then it still produces good dogs. But you always gotta give credit to the girl for sure.
right? But question. You think the stud always over? Like, they do too much with the stud, bro? Like, they give the
Yeah,
stud too much credit?
100%. Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
any breeder will tell you, like, yo, you need the right female. If you don't have the
yeah,
right female, you out of the conversation,
yeah, 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 yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
why does breeder like do like you show your female, but why breeder does not show the
I think
female?
it's like since we're dudes, most dudes want to be like show their boy, you know. And I want to show my boy the tough guy,
Man,
you
that's
know.
gay as hell, man.
You know
Real
that,
talk.
or like people say the studs make you famous, the female makes you program. So you
Well,
know
if you
some
look
people,
at it that way,
you know,
if you look at
but
it that way, the
but
business standpoint.
I like showing both of them. I'm excited as soon as one is born. I'm showing both of them, like sister brother. I put
Mm.
them all together, but definitely I think they hype up too much, like the
Hey,
stud.
I was talking to another breeder, right? And he said his wife pick his dog. Who picked the dog for you?
My wife picks the dogs too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, every dog. Ocean's Blue, Tragic, Apex. She's the one that's picked every dog we have.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when she's
Hey,
whooping it, when she's whooping the litter, she'll be like, "This is the one, babe. I like this one," and I'm like, "Okay," and we just
that's
go
the
with
one
that
we
one.
keeping.
Yeah, man. So
Okay, okay,
usually she'll
okay.
pick one, I'll pick one, and then we just let them grow a little bit, and then we'll go that route. But yeah, I like to let her pick. She's never been off.
All right, we going almost two and change hours, man. But yo, I got one more question I ask for you. You
Yes,
talk
sir.
about when he had a mentor, like he kind of limited himself, right? And
Yeah.
breeding. How do you limit yourself? Like how many dogs you try to keep for yourself and on the yard at a time?
Well, definitely, I would say is what you can handle to clean.
You can.
That's most important. You can't keep these dogs under bad conditions. You have to keep them A1 all the time.
Hmm.
Two is how much you're able to promote. If you can't promote all your dogs and they're just hiding there and you can't get some, you can't take pictures of them, that tells you also how much you could have. Um, and then at the same time is also every dog deserves to have a playtime, a chill time. So if it's where you're too have too much where the other ones can't go out anymore and you're being too tied up, then you have too many dogs.
Okay,
So
okay.
I like to tell people like when you start to always at least have like three girls and one boy, and then just start off that way.
Hey, hold on. Before you go any further, all right. Say I'm a new breeder, right?
Yeah,
What do you? I don't want to turn like I'm a new customer to you, and I want
yeah,
to breed. I tell you specifically, I want to get into breeding, right?
right.
And I want to start my program off. What do you advise, a female or a male? Let me know.
So first I would say is like which
You're not interested in what you're doing, you're not gonna do it good. The second thing is like to tell my customers, if you have a boy and you promote him correctly, you can make money off of him all year long, and you could have the chance um, to have people want to do a putback deal, for example, and then you end up with a female and a male. With a girl, if you start with her, just keep in mind that if she doesn't get pregnant, you don't have money coming in. If she does get pregnant, you have chances of different numbers of dogs being born, one, two, three, four. So I think it just depends what you like more. But if you want to kick it off the ground right away and you want to start, I think, faster and produce your own stud, start with a girl, throw her to a beautiful stud. Right off the beginning, you start off with productions of your own. You got a stud that has your camp name on it. And that's if you want to get into breeding. But if you don't want to be whelping, and right away off the beginning of your process, you rather just get your feet wet, then I think a boy's better because once that girl comes in heat, you're gonna want to breed her. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like if you don't want to start right away, you want to learn a little bit, you want to start off, like start with the male, and you can learn as you go, and you can start offering your dog, taking the right pictures, but you're not obligated to start dropping puppies, whelping, this, that, and all the responsibilities that comes along with having a female. Or get the female and wait a little bit and not breed her on the first heat, not the second. Wait to the third heat. So overall, it just depends on what's the purpose of what you're trying to do. Are you trying to come in and take it super serious? Then get a girl so you can start producing. Or are you trying to start slow and still make your presence, but start a little bit slower than get a male? Definitely.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Hey, there's so much question I could ask you, but I gotta ask you this next question, bro.
Yeah, brother.
All right, quick question. This one: how would you tell a new breeder to plan for breeding? Like, I'm gonna do a video on that, but I want to get your thoughts and how would you tell them to plan for breeding? Like the money wise, the stud money, the boom bang bang. How
So
do you go about
usually,
that?
usually I try to scare the shit out of them first, and I tell them all the bad shit that's happened to me, so that they can be prepared. Because some people take it as a joke, and then I give them a list of different stuff that's normal. I usually tell everybody not to waste so much. For example, like they want to get those expensive incubators, you
Mhm.
don't need that. You can literally get a box from Walmart, cut a hole in the bottom, run the wire from a heating pad, and you can run an oxygen machine through it as well too. So to start off, you don't need so much things. I would say like vitamins are very important when the puppies are born. A little whelping area. Money wise, I always prep them because, like I was telling you earlier, some cities have different prices. So, for example, people in California are paying like $3,000 for a C-section when I pay over here 700. So it's a huge price difference. So I try to prep them on it, try to have that money saved up already, and not wait to the last minute. And I always try to tell them to have a little bit of emergency money because since it's the first time whelping, there could be a lot of mistakes that happen. And to have somebody on call all the time, uh, so that um, so that they could be ready for anything. So we'll have always like a first person that's going to do a C-section, then we'll have a backup person that's going to do a C-section. So we'll have multiple, so basically running through a list of supplies, running a list through situations, and then having a backup plan for what they're going to do.
So you say they have like two at least two vets on call, right?
Of course, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense. Makes
And
sense.
and
Makes sense.
most important, like I tell everybody, make sure your vet is a breeding friendly vet.
Vet.
There's a lot of doctors that don't want you to reproduce. You
Hmm.
go in there with a healthy female and you leave with a girl spayed. And
Yep.
you're like, what the hell? And you just wasted mad money on that female. You know what I
Makes
mean?
sense. Makes
So
sense. Makes sense.
it's
Makes sense.
a plan B and YouTube. Go YouTube as well too before you start breeding, and just watch videos of people whelping and stuff like that, and try to pick up little things. Um, but definitely, like luckily for me, again, like I told you earlier, I'm not the best at stacking dogs. I'm not the best at whelping. So
Okay.
the one
Okay.
that does it is my wife. She's like the master whelper. And usually, whenever any of my customer has questions, I just put her on the phone.
Man, shout out to the wife, man. Shout out to the
Yes, he
wife.
said, shout out to the wife.
Shout out, man.
So usually I'll put her on the phone and I'll have her give them like a straight lesson on like temperatures and tips, and she'll be on the phone all day with them to 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, whatever time. They got both of us. They got access to me, and they got access to my wife as well too.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I like that, man. So I'm
Yep,
saying
yep,
teamwork make the dream work, man. Most
yeah, man,
definitely. Most
definitely.
definitely. But yo,
Yes,
as I'm
sir.
saying, we were supposed to be on for an hour. Me and
Yes,
Palacio
yes,
been
sir.
on for 2 hours, 18 minutes, man. Yo,
Thank you,
listen.
brother.
Anytime this dude come on the platform, he always drop some gems, man. Always, you know what I mean, here to talk some game and I make everybody learn, man. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
sir.
yo, I appreciate it, man. You came on the platform and
All day,
making it
brother.
happen, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
And guess what happened? As I'm saying, he's not going to be the first, the second, or the last, bro. Palacio gonna
And
definitely
to
be
give you
back up
your to
here.
give
Might
you
be up here in another month or two. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
to give you some flowers too. I think it's great what you're doing. There's not so many people doing it, and I know you do with good intentions,
Most
and
definitely.
you're trying to bring people together and not separate. So I think that the vibes and the energy you're putting out are amazing, and just keep it up, bro. And don't let the outside noise, don't let other people fuck it up for you or none of that shit. You're doing amazing. Just keep it up, bro. You got people on your platform that others would wish they had on their platform. Like you got Bashard on there, you got good people, dog. So blessings to you, brother, and keep it up, man.
Hey,
It's great.
most definitely, bro. And yo, and the people that are on the platform, man, yo, listen, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna say this straight up. I don't know what's going on in this community, but anytime I reach out to the breeders that on a level that's doing it, they make it so easy for me to get them on the platform. But when I'm reaching out for the breeder that's me that I'm actually doing it for, I just don't understand, man. You know what I mean?
Um, I think it has to do with the bigger breeders are already experienced a lot of stuff along the way. So now we've kind of like just made it real simple, and we're more at peace with the process. Others are just
The,
trying to figure it out still,
the
and
thing the thing about it, bro, when I created this platform, I remember one time I reached out to a breeder, right? And I was like, yo, could you promote this for me real quick? The breeder told me $100. I'm like, damn, for 24 hours? That's it? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. And then with another thing too, a lot of people don't know these breeders they buying, they're spending their money with. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really do this, you know what I mean? And the people that are out there that be stuck with puppy, they understand they can't get rid of puppies and all of that. And the only reason why they cannot get people to get puppies from them is because a lot of people is not seeing their platform. You know what I mean? So I look at it as like out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to put it on so much different platforms where I could create a following. And remember this, mark my words. If you want me to promote a little for you, it's free. Just make the video, send it to me. I post it on every Oh wow, see, Palacio man, always on point. You know what I mean? Yeah, show us some puppies, man. And that's what I'm saying. This is what it's all about for you to come on, show what you got so other people could see it and get it across, you know what I mean? So people could get in touch with you. And that's all it is. It's free. You know what I mean? I would never be charging nobody to show what they got. Never. You want a video
thank
for
you,
me to
brother.
post on my shorts? Send it over. I will post it for you. No problem. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%, bro. I
And
appreciate
that's
you.
it. You know what I mean? That's it. I want to promote everybody. Show me what you got, Palacio.
Give me
Show
the
me
cigar.
what's available. What's available? Show me.
Okay, so let's show they want to see what's available right quick. So to give me the homicide girls, and then I'll show you the cigar. These two right here are champion homicide daughters with blue ivy.
And
They're off of
hey,
Ocean's Blue.
just just
Um,
just to see one of your followers right here. They just dropped you know what I mean, they're giving you flowers right here, man. They say you're 100%, you have helped us plenty. Thank you, bro, Adrian. You know what I mean? His whole family. Amazing people.
thank you. Yeah, brother. There's always gonna be a little bit of hate. There's always gonna be a lot of love.
Most definitely.
I think it's like that with
But
everything.
put
Give
put
me the
put
Sicario daughter.
put it this way, bro. You don't know about one without the other, right? They all
Hundred
complement each
percent.
other.
That one. Yeah.
So
The
that's
first one.
as I'm saying, man, 2026, bro. Let's just
Yeah.
spread the love. You know what I mean? Show
Okay,
what
man.
you got and let's promote and then enjoy this wonderful breed, man.
Here's this little mama right here.
Nice, 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 nice. You know what I mean? That's available, people. So you already know what to do, man. Contact Palacio Bullies, man.
Yeah, this right here has three Magoo sons on that ped.
Oh,
Super
word.
stack ped. But yeah, brother, I appreciate you, man, and hopefully we do it again.
Bro, no,
And
hopefully we
we'll come
doing
up
it
with some
again,
different
bro.
topics.
Most
And remember
definitely.
what I told you about the live streaming? That'd be cool if you go on live stream like at one of the shows. I'm sure a lot of people would like to see that as well. That'd be super cool.
Most definitely, man. Palacio don't get off yet, but anyway, thanks everyone for coming in and enjoy the live, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Palacio Bully Camp for to join in. And Go ahead, Palacio. Ocho.
Everybody, thank you for your time. God bless everybody. Let's make the community better, the world better. Let's spread positivity. Everybody work hard. You can follow us on Instagram at Palacio_bullycamp or on Facebook at Adrian Palacio. Whatever questions you have, hit us up on DM. We're more than happy to help you out. We got beautiful production on the ground. Follow Gaza. He's doing amazing things and more good interviews on the way. So keep an eye out for that.
Most definitely. I'm out.